Among the many faults that there are with the DJI Mini 3 Pro, and new faults are appearing all the time, showing us that this just isn't the Mini 3 that we really wanted and we expected. It may have been rushed into production before it was completely ready. The latest fault that I found, and it's not a firmware fault and it's not a fault with the DJI Fly app, it's actually a problem with the design of the camera. The camera was designed to be able to change focus, and that creates a problem because it's a drone. And the problem is that if you haven't properly focused the drone, and there's a method of focusing it which I'll go through later on in the video, but if you haven't gone through that focusing procedure, it means that during the flight you can end up with footage that's out of focus and looks like this. And no one wants that, and you may think, well, surely you'll be able to see that during the flight. But that's not necessarily the case, because the phone that you're using, depending on the size of it, depending on the quality of it, and if you're using it with the RCN1, or if you're using the RM330 with its built-in screen, it's quite small, and it's not all that clear. It's certainly not clear enough to these old eyes to see whether it's out of focus. And I didn't actually discover the out of focus problem until I had the footage back into my editing suite and on my big screen, and then it's plain to see. So, a design fault there with the camera. I don't know if it was a fault. I think DJI's idea was, let's improve the camera and let's allow the focus to be adjusted. That, in my opinion, was a mistake for a drone, because generally drones are flying in the sky, they're focusing on the ground, and a fixed focal length like they have with the camera in the DJI Mini 2 is perfect. It works with the DJI Mini 2, and I've never had a piece of footage that is out of focus or had any problems with the DJI Mini 2. Every time I go out and fly with this thing, I'm now not confident that I'm going to get the footage that I want. However, there are two ways that you can make sure you've got the right focus on the ground when you're flying this drone, and I'll go through both of them right now. Now, I prefer to fly my DJI Mini 3 using the RCN1 with my phone attached. There are many reasons for this, and I explain them in detail in my live streams. The most recent live stream I go into it in quite some detail. So if you're interested in knowing why I prefer to use the RCN1 over the RM330, go ahead and watch that live stream and you'll hear me explaining in detail why I prefer this one. So the first method of making sure you have the right focus when you are going to fly your DJI Mini 3 is you have your controller powered up, point the DJI Mini 3 at the horizon. This seems crazy. Point it at the horizon and then turn it on. This is very convoluted, and I'm not too happy about having to do this. So once you've done that, if you switched it on and you were pointed at the far horizon, and you have to make sure that there's nothing closer to you that the camera may focus on. And in this case, the top of the rail here on the bridge may actually be what's in focus. And I think it is. So even that method, it will only work if you're pointing to the horizon and there's nothing in between. So it's not foolproof, that one. The second method is that when you're in flight, when you start your flight and you go up to your desired height, point the gimbal slightly down at the ground and then tap on the screen at the point that you want to focus. It will make this, I think it's a triple beep. Did it? Maybe a double beep. It will make a double beep, and the camera will then be focused on the point of the screen that you have pressed on. So that's fairly convoluted, and it means that you can't just get the drone up in the air and fly. You have to go through this little bit of a procedure first, and I'm not happy with that. But if you don't want results that look like this, and instead you want results that look like this, then that's the procedure that you're going to have to go through, I'm afraid, if you're flying with the DJI Mini 3 Pro. As I said, I don't think it's anything that they can fix in the firmware, because I believe it's the camera is designed to allow you to change the focus of the camera, so we're stuck with it. So if you want to see more about the RCN1 in a comparison with the RM330, the controller that comes with the screen, that video there will take you straight to it.